Today I got a little bit of free time. I don't really have much time to do much to the car other than I figured take care of some of these holes. I'm going to put the luggage rack that I have for it on the car. Now, before I do that, I need to clean the paint underneath it just because it's a million times easier to do that without a rack. So if you look right here, that's the spot that I've already cleaned. I used, what did I use? Meguiar's wax on it, and you know what, it cleaned up pretty good. I mean, good enough. You can see, if you guys can see this, there's some bubbles in the paint, and there's one right there. Yeah, so there's some bubbles in the paint. There's bubbles in the paint all over the car, so no big deal. I just want it to look presentable. So yeah, that's what I'm going to clean it off with. So the area is clean. Again, hand buff, no machine buff, so there's still imperfections in it, but never perfect anyway. Clean enough to put a luggage rack on. I didn't clean the back bumper so you guys can kind of see the bubbles. Supposedly the previous owner and the painter got into a legal battle over that. I don't really care, because it will look good from 10 feet. One thing that I can throw on pretty quickly when I have a quick minute are these front grills. Sadly, I had to buy a new pair, but I was able to use these lights out of my stash. Don't worry, I'll clean them up a little bit more. I just wanted to show you guys what they look like installed. I have about 3-4 pairs of these for the 75 and up cars. The difference that there is that these are about 2 inches longer, which I didn't know, even though I have a 73. And if you look, if you compare them side by side with the other ones end about right here. They're not as long. So these are 2 years, 73 and 74 are the only ones that use these, sadly. But I at least saved by not having to buy any extra marker lights. So there's the hardware I got out of the part stash, so these are going to go in today. To finish off the front grille installation, I got 2 light bulbs, and one even has silver overspray on it, which means it matches the car. Anyway, as you can see, the socket's hanging down, the light bulbs are broken. Of course I got to put new bulbs in. These are going to be orange to match the marker lights, and they have to be double filament because they turn on and also have turn signals in them. I put in a hot battery just to see if I could get the marker lights to turn on, and of course none of them do. I do get 2 headlights, but when I turn the bright switch on, only one bright goes on and the rest turn off. This isn't supposed to work like that. We've got some wiring issues to figure out, which is completely normal. One thing I do want to show you guys though is this. Look at this Bubba ingeniousness. So these adjusters are supposed to look like that, and he didn't have any new ones and he broke the other ones, so he did that. Luckily for me, my parts cars, even if the headlight assembly is trashed, usually these are still good. I'm going to get a parts headlight and swap these out before I put the bezel on, and I need to make sure all the headlights work correctly before I do that too. No sense in covering Bubba up. Sometimes it's the little things that make a car. While I've been waiting for the carburetor to soak and become rebuilt, I fixed all the little screws in the headlights and then put new bezels on them, so those look awesome. If you notice, there's now a front nose badge, which there wasn't before. You already saw the clip about the front grills. I also added, ta-da, Stingray emblems, so that's exciting. I'm working on getting mirrors for the doors. And then back here is the most important one. I have now a brand new antenna and antenna wire, mounted the luggage rack, put on emblems for the back, and also added a gas cap. So in 74, this was just boring. There was no emblem on it at all. So I decided to put the 75 to 76 gas cap on it. It fits fine. It can be reversed by whoever buys it. But it just gives a little bit extra bit of color to the car. Since the interior is going to be red, I figured, why not put a red emblem on it too? I also, at a swap meet, picked up a better stoplight. It's not perfect, but it's better than this one that has cracks and stuff all in it. So I'll be swapping those out. Yeah, it's coming along great. I also bought another mirror for this side, which I will eventually put on. And you can see the Stingray emblem. Another great update are these wheels. Yes, I bought rally wheels for this car to replace those awful ones that came with it. Eventually those will get cleaned up. I have new rings and caps for them, and we'll put on new tires when the time comes. Right now, we're not at that point. This carburetor I put on the car, and even after me rebuilding it, it did the exact same thing. After talking to a few experts on these kind of carburetors, I figured out that this is what you call a mass-produced, remanufactured carb, aka garbage. What I learned that they do is they take carburetors like this and they just blow them all apart and put bodies in one basket, tops in one basket, and bases in another basket, bead blast everything all together, and then from there they just assemble them. And they do a lot of strange things to them that aren't found in like a factory carb. For example, they put lead blockages here, here, and then another one down in here. They also mess with this setting, which I was told never to mess with. An easy way you can tell is that there's a white sticker that is put on the carburetor body here. And also, if you look over here, you can see the difference in color. This is kind of a greenish, yellowish, and then this is just straight up gray. As you saw in the last clip, the fuel pump was not pumping very much gas. So that's two things it could be. One, the fuel pump's going out, or two, there's no gas in the car. It ended up being number two. I mean, it ran for a good 10 minutes before, so obviously the fuel pump works. So I have this little fuel pump, electric fuel pump contraption going on, and luckily for me, 74 still has the big gas tank hole, so it's pretty easy to see down in there. And this car had been outside for a long time, and because of that, I think some water got in the gas tank. I had this issue with my 73 in the past. Anyway, I'm pumping all the old fuel out, and I don't know if the milky stuff in there is just aerated gas, and it's really old and gross, or is it mixed with water? We'll have to see and wait for it to settle, but I have some old gas that I threw in there. Believe it or not, the old gas came from that car. Threw the old gas in there just to kind of wash it out. I sloshed it around a little bit, and now I'm pumping it out. And I have 5 gallons of fresh, brand new gas to put in, which I think will help it run a little bit better. Alright, we have 5 gallons of nice, fresh, brand new gas in the brand new gas tank. I assumed incorrectly that, well, since the gas tank is new, there's not going to be any need to clean it out or anything like that, but I was wrong. Let me show you guys. So this little bottle is a little bit of brand new gas that I saved for the carburetor. This bottle is half. This is old gas that I used to flush it, and then that, I'm pretty sure, is all that came out. So what I think happened the other day is the car was running on the gas that floats to the top, and then the gas tank got emptier and emptier, and then it finally hit the water that's in the bottom of the tank, and then it stopped running and it started running like crap. So this carb still might be good, but since I have the other carburetor attached and all hooked up anyway, I just lost some time. I didn't really lose any money. I think that other carb is going to run better than this one anyway.